This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore.
I know this is shocking, but I came across something yesterday on Fox News that was so disgusting and vitriolic that I just had to come here and rant about it. My name is Brittany Page, and I'm filling in for Jesse Dollemore as he continues his recovery from colon cancer surgery. He's doing awesome. He's more mobile, he's managing his pain, and he should be back very soon. I want to talk about an idea that I have for surprising Jesse, giving him a gift, and helping him get over 400,000 subscribers before his return. What do you think? Can you help? Can you share the channel with someone you know? Can you share this video with someone that you know? Can we help Jesse get over 400,000 subscribers so that he has a nice surprise upon his return to the channel, his triumphant return? And if you're watching this right now and you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you're subscribed. So let's get to this. The Five on Fox News, a show that is hosted by a bunch of ghouls, some of them Jesse Watters, Greg Gutfeld, and they've been focusing a lot of their hatred and vitriol lately on the homeless, on the unhoused, on people who struggle with housing instability. I guess, according to these Fox News hosts, this is a demographic that has just had it too good for too long. So watch this, where they discuss a story that is poorly sourced about a washing machine near an encampment in Los Angeles.
On to the topic. Homeless encampments in liberal Los Angeles have a brand new amenity, working washing machines. Yes, it's true. Vagrants are setting up oversized tents and boasting about how they can steal water and electricity from the city in order to power their own street laundry service.
The situation in, was it Los Angeles?
Yeah.
You have to let people hit rock bottom, because then they bounce back up. Democrats want to make rock bottom comfortable. Yeah, stay at rock bottom, put a washer dryer, put a wine fridge in there. Yeah, do whatever you need to do. Spread out, spread yourself out. That's the problem. You're actually hurting people by letting them fester in squalor. Yeah. Don't sit there and let them do this to you, because you're not allowed to sleep on public property and you're not allowed to sleep on private property. So get them the hell out of there.
One of the huge problems with the law in some of these places, Judge, is that they allow tents. And tents means more permanent. Basically, you're basically going to sit there.
So there's a lot in there that I want to get to, a lot of disgusting trash that I want to talk about. The first thing is they're saying boasting about stealing electricity and water. There's no evidence of this. The sourcing that I can find on this story is from the Daily Mail and from Fox News. So red flag all the way. And in those articles, they reference a TikTok video that was filmed by someone and photos that were taken and then posted on Twitter of the encampment in the washing machine. So you tell me, how likely do you think it is that the person who filmed that TikTok from across the street and took photos from across the street, how likely it is that they went and had a conversation with the human beings living in that tent and got the full story? Not likely. And the Daily Mail refers to the tent with the washing machine as lavish, a lavish lifestyle, according to the Daily Mail. This is disgusting. And Jesse Watters continued his disgusting tirade when you heard him say, Democrats want to make rock bottom comfortable. Put in a washer, a dryer, and a wine fridge, as though a wine fridge and a washer are the same thing. A washer is a necessity. You need to have clean clothes. These are the same people that say, hey, why don't you go out and get a job? Well, you know what you need to do at an interview for a job, Jesse? You need to look presentable. You need to have clean clothes. So I think you should be at the top of the list in terms of people that are celebrating those who struggle with housing instability having access to a washer. No? Additionally, he says that the Democrats are doing this. He ties this to Democrats. There's no evidence that Democrats put a washing machine there, but I wish they would. I wish they would do a lot more. We'll get to that. We'll get to that in a second, Jesse Watters. He goes on to say, you're hurting people by letting them fester in squalor. You're not allowed to sleep on public property and you're not allowed to sleep on private property. You're hurting people by letting them live in squalor. I agree, Jesse. That's something that we agree on. What are you going to do about it? Do you have a plan? Well, apparently, a few weeks ago, he did have a plan. This was his plan.
You can't reason with the unreasonable. Give them what they want, but not in the city. The city allows this to happen. Move it out onto government property and let them run it. Camp away. Give them the autonomy to truly run their lives into the ground, harm each other. Don't harm us anymore. That's the only thing you can do, because it can't get any worse than it is now. You got to move them to a place where they can live their lives.
So federally funded opium dens where the homeless can kill each other.
And I volunteer as mayor. I will be mayor of Opium Town.
So his plan is death. His plan is letting them kill each other. Don't you love listening to these millionaires laugh to themselves while mocking people who are living in the streets and living in poverty? They're paid millions of dollars to give this astute political analysis, the same political analysis that I would hear in like my high school government class back in Idaho, where the kids would parrot talking points from their Republican parents. That's what apparently gets you millions of dollars on Fox News. So there's a lot of things here, and I want to try to get to as much as possible. So I have notes, and I may have a rage rash appearing on my neck as I speak and do this because I'm raging. So I find this disgusting on numerous levels, both professionally and personally. Personally being that I'm a licensed therapist and I have worked with underserved communities, those who struggle with housing instability, those who have substance use issues, those who have severe mental illnesses. And it is disgusting to hear the human beings that I have worked with for years and treated professionally be talked about in this manner. And it just proves the disconnect that people like Jesse Watters have from the real world. It's also personally disgusting because I grew up poor. I was never homeless, but I come from two parents who never graduated high school. My dad got his GED in prison the same year that I graduated high school. We were on food stamps, single parents, that whole thing. And we are, all of us, closer to living on the street than we are to becoming Elon Musk. And that's just a fact. And we're sold this lie that regardless of where you're born into, what kind of situation you're born into, that you can become an Elon Musk in this country by hard work alone. If you have the will, there's a way. And when you don't end up achieving that, when you struggle in poverty, you're made to feel guilty, like it's your fault. But all of this comes down to a poor social safety net, poor public policy, lack of resources, lack of wealth, lack of luck. And instead of Jesse Watters using his platform to focus on those things, to focus on solutions, he chooses to be hateful instead. And listen, Jesse, I mean, you don't want to see unhoused people suffering in the street. I mean, I don't know about the suffering part, but let's say you don't want to see unhoused people in the street. Neither do I. That's why I support housing first policies, cash aid, early childhood education, universal basic income. Pick a good public policy and support it. That's how these things get solved, not through hate, vitriol, and wishing that people would be dead. Listen, you don't want to see people possibly overdosing on a sidewalk, in the street, in front of your kids? Neither do I. That's why I support supervised injection sites, free naloxone, drug testing, fentanyl test strips, all of these things that you don't support. And listen, even Democrats fall into this trap of thinking that people are unhoused because they want to be. And there's a difference between someone saying, I was assaulted in a shelter and that's why I want to be out here on the street because I have more control over my situation here than I do in the shelter. There's a difference between that and someone saying, I want to be homeless. And oftentimes you hear these people say, well, I talked to someone one time. Oh, you did? You talked to one person one time, and then you generalized that one story that you heard from one person and maybe a happenstance meeting that lasted a maximum 30 seconds, and you're going to generalize that to the entire population of homeless people in this country? Seems rational. Here's what I would say to Jesse Watters and to people like Jesse Watters. I hope that you find your empathy before your tragedy. And by that, I mean, I hope that you're able to find your compassion and learn to care about human beings before you find yourself in a situation where you need compassion and it is not given to you. You know, rather than wondering how victims of poverty have failed themselves, I'm angry that we live in a country that fails victims of poverty. And I hope that more people find their compassion and support policies that improve our social safety net. Because that's what we need to do. To improve everyone's lives. Everyone will benefit from that. We will be a safer and healthier society if that's what we focus on. Improving the social safety net and not being hateful. What do you think? I'd love to know. Call us, leave us a voicemail, 714-576-4054, or you can email us at daily@dollemore.com. You can also support the work that we do by becoming a channel member. Click the button join below for as little as $2 a month. You can support the efforts that Jesse and I have here on this channel temporarily for me while I'm filling in, and going forward for Jesse when he comes back. My voice is starting to go. We're going to keep it going though. You can also support us on patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast. I appreciate you being here with me. I appreciate all the support that you have shown me while I'm filling in for Jesse on this channel. It has been a lot of fun. It has been a lot of practice. It has been a lot of growth for me personally. So I appreciate the support while I do that. As Jesse would say, be genuine and take care of one another.